How are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. No complaints. I'm in good spirits.
This show is amazing. I've only seen the first couple episodes, but everything so far is incredible. I've spoken to your two leads already, and they have such great things to say about working with you. I'm curious how you started on this.
Well, I actually had this project. I got this project from Barry and Stan at Lionsgate. They was pitching it as a feature film. Hmm. And I was like, no, it's not a feature film. It should be a series. I was saying that because there was so much information, so much went on in the experience that I was like, we're never gonna get this out in 2 hours. And I'm like, when you get a chance to do it as a series, we can go through stages. Like this first season is the origin story. So they'll get a chance to see the innocence in Meech and T in the very beginning. And it will allow you to have a bit of compassion for them later because you see them making the choice as kids at 15. Like, if you're growing up under harsh circumstances and poverty-stricken environment, you'll look for a way out of it. And everything's an option. Anything that comes around will be the option out of that. And when you see people make these choices and they're significant at it because of the style, the tones, how they do things, and they cut through. A lot of people fell to the wayside during this journey. A lot of people made the choice and was already X'd out from whether it's by law enforcement or by others involved in the lifestyle. And they made it to a point that obviously it's a significant journey for us to capture it. And I thought it would be irresponsible to tell a story and not tell the end of the story. Because it could have been, we could have told BMF as Blowing Money Fast and made that 2005 at the heyday of the financial situation. Think Scarface, think Push It to the Limit montage, where all of the money and everything else is there. And that's the irresponsible play if you just did that. But if you tell that even the struggle with Christianity, like the mother and father are heavy in the church, and to see the kids making those choices were like, well, he's ruining his life. Maybe we can still save Terry. Like when they see the older son going and the younger brother following him because he always just would anyway. These are things that these are human behaviors that we see so often that it feels like you're talking about someone else. I'm talking about someone else when you say the younger brother's following the older brother. Like, it's just the way, I don't know what it is, it's just the way we are,
They are so good together too. It's amazing watching them play together. But like for Lil Meech to come into this from never acting before, I mean, did you feel like that was a chance you just had to take because obviously you had to play his father?
I thought there was nothing more authentic than having Lil Meech do it. And I had the money, right? See, no one else, look at this, look. No one else, STARZ definitely wouldn't have gave me the money to do that 18 months before we actually was there to even cast. You see what I'm saying? I'm just looking at it so far ahead because I'm going, wait, I already know what the issue is. Who's going to play? Who's going to do this, right? And I'm going, I sent him, I moved him from Atlanta to California, and I put him in acting classes full time. And when he immersed himself in it, so he did it. Like, he really did it, man. Like, if you think, like now when I'm looking at him, I'm like, yo, it's one of the biggest things I've done. Because it's changing his trajectory, like his life completely into a different lane. He's done Euphoria after he rapped, doing BMF, he did Euphoria, and he did another independent film that he's in afterwards. He's an actor. Like, so it's like, he really did it. Like, I think the excitement, you take the excitement of 50 Cent it believes in me and is paying for this. And then how proud his dad would be, because his dad didn't know initially.
Oh, really?
Didn't know that I was sending him to California and doing that. Because I didn't want to say that. And because at the time, Meech was so on, because I'm like, this is going to be big. And he was like, oh, all right, so who going to play me? Like, and he's looking at the adult actors, like maybe Terrence Howard or like somebody else that you would see just out there that know the rope. And I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. So like, I'm not saying it because I'm like, let me get him ready. I don't want to mention it until I know that I'm sure that he can do it. And when we got around to it, and I told him, he was like, can he do it? Like, can you? I'm like, he's been working on it full time since he said, he told me he was in California, but he didn't tell me what he was doing. And then he went into it when he spoke to him. He says, man, look, 50 know what he's doing. Like, he trusted me with it, and it worked. It just worked out. It worked out. Like, and there was a point that he read for the network. He put himself on tape, and the acting coach that he was using had someone else kind of direct him on how to perform, because no one else in the scene. It's just him on the camera, and it was a bad tape. And the network was saying, no, yeah, this is not going to work. And it was literally saying, but it can't work. He can't act. Flat out, they was telling me he can't act. And I'm like, 18 months, I said to myself, I've been paying for the acting coach, I've been paying for his place to live, I've been paying for him to be comfortable while he's doing it. And I got progress reports the whole time, and then you're going to tell me he can't act. He can't act. I'm like, okay, you go through the process that I went through before I decided to get him to do it, and then maybe you let them read again. You let them do it. And they saw it through, because they hired the same two casting agents that I hired in the beginning. That made me feel like I needed to send him to work. And it came back around full circle, and he ended up getting the job. Because look, I'm very excited about working with people who can admit when they're wrong. Because sometimes they can't, and the project is just different because they couldn't admit they were wrong. And they came back and was like, you know what? You were right this time. So what? Let's go. And I couldn't ask for it to be a better scenario or situation. For me, the excitement of watching him, like we just shot the cover of Double XL magazine. And it was me, Michael Rainey, Makai Curtis, Lil Meech, and Joseph Shakur. So to shoot that, I'm like, yo, it's interesting because personally, all of them in the very beginning, Makai the least, because Michael Rainey, he was 12 when he came into Powell. Now he's the number one on the call sheet and driving the whole show. You know what I'm saying? He's the littlest guy, the youngest guy on the show at that point. And now, sitting there, when I looked at the pictures from now, I'm like, yo, wow, look at this. Because Makai came in, Makai was like a surprise, because I saw him for the first time with Patina Miller in the test when they were performing together. And I was like, what up? What are we waiting for? Like, this is it. Like, he definitely got it. Like, and I'm looking at him, and it's a younger version of me. And interesting enough, my hair was exactly the same way his hair was, because I was playing Cassius Dawkins on ABC, and I had my hair going up in that little flat top thing. And I'm like, yo, I know that you couldn't know that was going to be like that. And like, he's already got the look down packed. Let him go. What are we waiting for?
Well, last thing I want to ask you is, you have some fantastic guest stars that you've worked in here, especially two of them in particular. Can you talk a little bit about picking them?
Yeah. For episode 107, this is my episode. I directed it against my second time directing since Power season 6, and I got M to come out and play White Boy Rick for me, and that was look. This is just, he's just been so supportive of me my entire career. Like they haven't been able to get him back in front of the camera like that since 8 Mile. There's been points that Hollywood has decided it's easier to try and get him through me. So the projects that they bring to me, and I'm looking at it, they'll have me take it to Detroit to go talk to them about it, and they're offering them $8 million in the film, and then everything else that you can think of, and you can stay in Detroit, and you won't have to leave. You can do comfortably at home. And I'm like, And he would still say something like, yo, it's cool, but I think we should do something like the Warriors. Like, he doesn't move on money. He moves on creativity if he's excited about it. Mm-hmm. And look, he just, for me, like, I don't need a lot of support. I just need support when I need it. Mm-hmm. And he's always there to show up. He always shows up. You know what I mean? And like the music, I was preconditioned for it, but he provided the opportunity and support that I needed to get the right backing for it. But Interscope Records, him selling 23 million records on the Marshall Mathers LP. When you sell 23 million records, everybody wants to do what you want to do. Trust me. So when you say this guy's next and it's 50 Cent, then I get my shot. You know what I'm saying? And with Snoop, we got Snoop to come out and play. I was originally cast in the role of Snoop. So really? I was going to play that role of the minister. And until I looked at it, I was like, wait, the timing, I'm going to be marketing Raising Kanan. And they're going to be thinking so much about the Kanan character while they're watching the younger version of him in his journey, that I didn't want that to clash with the performance of the minister at the same time. So I was like, yo, it'd be great if we could get Snoop to do it. And he did it. He was there, and look, he did the work, man. It's a lot. When you see the performance, it's definitely going to surprise you that it's that good, because he really went in.
Well, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to hear the new music as well. Yeah. Have a great day.
Some good things happening.